right, well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, your empowerment coach, as always, helping you to live better, love better, and be better. For this series of videos, I am joined again with my amazing, talented, all that wife, Tarsha.
Hey.
And if this is content that you like, if you appreciate the reviews and recaps that we do and some of the other things that I do on this channel, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button, and request those notifications, because from time to time I do go live and we have a lot of different things that we have happen on this channel. All right. So we have been reviewing, recapping, and reacting to Ready to Love, right? That has been the show. Well, they are off this week, holidays, all of those fun things going on. So therefore, we wanted to take some time to do a recap, not a recap, but
respond to
the comments, right? So we want to pick a few from like the last video that we did, and just kind of respond to them.
Sure.
See if there's something else that we missed or what have you, right? So shout out to all of our subscribers. And again, hit that subscribe button, right? But Jehu Slay is our first one that we want to talk about. And Jehu said, I just heard, you know when somebody just heard something.
You just heard it.
I just heard from another YouTube channel that Alicia was 5 months pregnant while on the show. Lord have mercy on the ratchetness on this show. If true, shaking my doggone head.
Yeah, I don't know. We've heard it from other couple of channels, I guess, saying that she was pregnant at the time of this taping. You know, I don't know. You know, I might have to say I'm not ready for love, or I'm not ready for love on live TV. You know, I mean, how do you come into a new situation when you are starting or in the midst of another situation?
Right. I mean, that's for me. Yeah, we've heard this one before, and again, allegedly. So this is allegedly. We don't know for sure. You know, Alicia, if you want to hit us up, hit my email up, and we'll bring you on, discuss it. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's a little interesting that if that's the case, how this all plays out, because again, I think when we look at the process for casting,
right,
it is not a quick turnaround. So it's not like they just went to a club and went out to a few restaurants and said, hey, we're casting for this show, and they automatically went there. So there's a process, in here. So don't know how long that process is. However, if we're talking that she was 5 months pregnant,
right,
somewhere in there, the casting process either had just started,
right, or
it was in the middle of when she already knew she was pregnant.
Right.
So then the question is, okay, what was your, because I look at this and I now, you know, look very suspicious at even how she handled, what was his name? David, right?
Right. Asking about his, you know, feel about kids,
right,
and taking care of the
and
children.
Stepping in immediately, taking care of kids and things of that nature. So now all of that puts that whole thing into a new light for me, because it's like, if I don't know and you're on this show talking about You Already Love, okay, we're getting to know each other. I know about kids that you already have, but now we have a child on the way in 4 months or so.
Right.
So then it's like, am I now expected to step up and be responsible for that one when the baby daddy is less than a year in the picture?
Well, I mean, obviously you wouldn't be, I wouldn't assume anyone would ask anyone to step up and to do anything for their kids if we just started dating.
She's asking that question.
Well, I think she's asking for a long-term relationship, you know, because I would have a lot of questions if you are pregnant and now you're bringing in another child. You know, how are you ready? Is this a good time for you? It could be a lot of feelings going on, you know. So, you know, I guess we'll see. Hopefully in the reunion, they
should be revealed by then.
It should be revealed, or hopefully they'll address rumors. If not, I mean, hey, it is what it is.
I'm just saying, it's going to be a made-for-TV moment if Alicia shows up with a baby on the couch.
She's not going to bring her baby on the couch.
I'm just saying.
She's not going to bring her baby on the couch. And make sure a picture of her.
And Brian might be like, I'm glad I didn't Netflix. All right, so Desiree said, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, she said, a relationship between Adriana and Rashid will only hold depth because Rashid is so mature and ready on a greater level. He will be the one doing all the work in their relationship, and she would just be there for the ride. I'm not sure if they would last, but I don't know. He might be the one she needs, but I don't know if she's what he needs.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are great comments. You know, is she ready in her life? She says she is, right?
She says it.
she says that she wants to be a wife. She wants to have kids. You know, not necessarily saying, "Hey, I want to get married tomorrow."
Right.
But she does want that in her future. So I guess Rashid looked like he's just ready to get married and pop some more boys out.
He like, I did my work. I enjoyed being married. I recognize where I made mistakes.
Right.
I'm ready for this.
Right. So I guess we'll see. You know, it's more with her up in the air where he's like, definitely, I knew you, you know, we were friends, like we were casual.
Right.
So I'm already knowing what I'm getting into. Right. So he kind of has a heads up, of, you know, over Kalafani, you know. And I don't know where Kalafani is. Kalafani didn't say he was ready to get married.
Yeah.
You know, he's just trying to get a relationship where they ain't jealous. So
that's
So I guess we'll see, you know, if she makes her decision, if she's ready, or just ready.
Yeah. All right. So now someone in this last episode we talked about, we had the moment between Winter and Jay.
Yes.
Right? And so Stephanie, first of all, she called you Mrs. C.
Hey, I love it.
Mrs. C. All right. So, okay. Mrs. C, Tarsha, you were right on point with that so-called kiss from Jay wasn't insult. But as she said, Winter does not need to ask him or any man for a kiss. I completely agree. Winter, baby girl, you just need to listen.
Hey.
If he ain't feeling you, he ain't feeling you. There's other guys out there that I'm sure that are feeling you. Just my thoughts.
I'm not asking for a kiss.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You're not asking me for a kiss?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to give it to him.
Oh, okay. I'm going to y'all pray for me. All right. If a man wants to kiss you, he'll do it. I enjoyed Edwin's. They move on. She's talking about Edwin enjoys connection and loves that Black people are talking about therapy and doing the work. And then she goes on to say, she says that Adriana's just ready to play though. She thinks she'll choose Kalafani in the end. And Denise, she talks about Denise's body. All right. A lot in there.
There's a lot in it. But, you know, I think we kind of talked about this before, like with Winter, you know, and the question that was asked to her was that, does she choose men that are emotionally not available?
Yep.
And in this case, when she was asking for a kiss and then he comes with the cheek, we're like, oh, yeah. And Winter, she don't hold nothing back. She like, you just turned me off.
Right.
Like, totally.
Well, yeah, I mean, somebody even said the music had changed on.
Yeah, she said the music had changed
with that kiss. So it was like, okay, it was just Jay, bruh.
I'd be like, leave it alone, dude. And you should stay honest, right? You were honest at the beginning that Joy was your first.
Yep.
So you should be honest. It's like, you know what? I don't want to kiss you and it don't be genuine.
Right.
And so with that being the case, I'm going to respectfully decline to kiss you.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
But I'm just not to the point where I'm going to kiss both women. That's just how he is.
Right.
You know, so good for him.
I respect that.
Then you should say that.
But his communication of that should have been better.
Correct. Because you were mentioning like, well, is he just playing along, playing the game and playing along?
Yeah, because the thing we keep hearing about Jay is he's a salesman type of person. He, you know, and so then that brings up, is he just playing the game of Ready to Love and just keeping Winter on the back burner, just kind of reeling her along long enough so that something does happen with Joy,
right? Then
he can, you know, make that switch,
right?
So we'll see. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of episodes left, but we'll see. Yeah,
and I think you made the comment also. Someone stated in the comments that a kiss on the forehead can be very intimate.
Yes.
It can be, but first of all, he didn't kiss her on the forehead,
right?
And there was no energy behind the kiss,
right?
So no matter where you kiss me, if there ain't no energy,
if there's no chemistry, there's no energy. You're right. That was shout out to Princess, who said, "Now that kiss on the forehead is not like kissing your daughter," and that's because in one of our videos we did talk about how I had made the statement that it might have been better if he had at least kissed her on the forehead, because that was a little more. And my wife, Tarsha, you're like, nah. But it does depend upon the energy.
It depends on the energy.
Energy and the connection and communication, all that. So depends, right?
You bring a lot of energy to our kiss, baby.
Listen, we're trying to keep this PG for everybody. All right.
Blushing, you turn her red in cheeks.
Listen, I'm light skinned. Light skinned people do blush. It's okay. All right. Pamela says, my thoughts. She doesn't trust Jay. Here's another person who looks at Jay a little suspicious. Jay, bro, you got some work to do. All right. She says Edwin would have been a great choice for Jay for Joy, if he had gotten therapy before the show.
Yeah.
Hence, he still can, and Joy could leave an open invite to get to know him later.
Yeah.
Now, they get it, then go on to say that Pamela says she's feeling some kind of way about Kalfani. She believes when Adriana gave him interest, he just ruled out Denise, and he's using the jealousy issue as an excuse. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think we have to look at his past relationships. If we're talking about Kalfani, you know, in his past, he's been hinting that because of what he does, women tend to get jealous.
Right.
You know. Now, that's his perspective, okay?
Right.
So based off of his perspective, is he bringing that into the Ready for Love? You know, is this a trigger for him?
Right.
So with that being the case, he wants to totally stay away from those type of people. But is he listening to what Denise is saying?
Right.
You know, is Denise saying, hey, I've never been in this situation, and I want to very clearly inform you
that you are my boo.
You are it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we have such a strong connection. You know, I'm not saying it's right.
Right.
You know, she could go about it a different way, but if that's the only way she knows to show that feeling, now maybe she's not like that on the show. I mean, because people show different things depending on the pressure. There's a lot of filming going on consistently to our understanding of the show.
Right.
So potentially, you know, and she's backed off after getting, you know, hey,
being in the bottom a couple of times.
Yeah.
And
so,
that being the issue.
Yeah, because if she can't turn it off, she wouldn't have.
Right.
But since she did, I'm assuming that couldn't happen in the real world.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that brings up, Pamela also went on to say, as for Denise, she feels that the director set up a narrative for her just for credits to make her look hard and in a bad way. So, and my thoughts on this is reality TV has really taken hold of TV, really.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I think we all recognize that in reality TV, there's always going to be the crafting of a story.
Right.
The thing, though, that I think you have to take into account, though, is that they can't create a narrative completely out of thin air.
Right.
I think if you have enough things there, it supports it, right? So, for example, the initial thing that we had heard from Denise was that Rashid was narcissistic.
Right.
So that could have been a storyline of showing how he's narcissistic.
Right.
But there was no evidence that we saw.
Right. There might have went enough tape for them to show that characteristics of him. Right. And based off of what we saw, we were like, even us was like,
because the only thing that you could say that could be used for that was when he was talking about buying pajamas at Nordstrom.
And they showed that.
They showed that.
They showed that very clearly.
But that was, that seemed to be the only thing.
Right.
So for Denise, I get that. I think that one of the things that we are very aware of is how many times there is the portrayal of dark-skinned women as the angry black woman, and that. Not saying black women in period, right? And so I can definitely understand how that could even be maybe the thought behind that. But I think that Denise, as far as what we've seen and what's been portrayed, the things that are there to support that.
Right.
You can't, it's not like
you can't make something in thin air.
They didn't green screen her walking past Kalfani and Adriana saying, keep it messy, keep it messy. So that's something that, yes, was actual.
Right. It was an actual reaction. But again, even you could say Naya. I mean, you could make her the angry black woman at the end. I mean, but I feel like these are portrayals of characteristics that you see in our culture as a whole. Like we talked about at the beginning. Is that I could see any one of these women being my friends and having a similar reaction to that situation. So I feel like Denise, I don't think they're putting her in any certain spot. I think that's the way she just came off. And I feel like Will Packer, based off of the last couple of Ready for Loves, I feel like he really portrays the black culture
accurately,
right. And in a good light,
right.
You know,
right.
So I can't say that, you know, I don't know, but
Right.
at the same time, I don't get that sense,
right?
Because after a while, after you watch some of these shows, you can see, oh, now the drama done went up,
right.
10, 150%.
This isn't that music television network who we're not going to name, but that does like real world shows and stuff like that, where there's always there's
drama.
always that character, right?
Right, or someone's always in a fight or trying to snatch weave out, you know, all certain things that are just not.
Us watching Ready to Love, and I'm thinking, you know, back through the previous seasons, I can't think of anyone that I think was stereotyped and cast in a particular way to fit a mold. I think that it was very genuine, very authentic. At least that's what it came across. Because every year there should have been, if we're going with that, every year there should have been an angry woman. Mm-hmm. Every year there should have been an insecure man. Every year should have been, and it just, or a narcissistic. There should have been these characters that were played. And I haven't seen that. So,
I haven't. I hope not. And I hope not in the future, too.
Right. So don't take that idea, Will, and run with it. All right. Couple other things. Quintessential. I like that username. It says, I think most of the women on this show have been placed in an awkward position regarding taking the lead in courtship. She then goes on to say, I don't think Adriana, or he, I don't know. I don't think Adriana is immature. It's ready to love, not ready to marry. And it's clear Rashid wants to get married again. Adriana is not at the point that she is looking for a husband as much as she is looking for a good relationship built on friendship and love.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. You know, I think some of the thoughts of the participants in it is like they keep mentioning marriage. And I think that might keep us in the mindset of that, because people are saying I'm older, because a lot of these participants are in their late 30s, early 40s. So at this point, either you're ready for a very committed relationship, or you're saying, I really want to settle down with one person and make this it, you know? And so as far as Adriana, yeah, I think, the person who made the comments might be right. Maybe they're ready to get started and having a great relationship with someone that can blossom into something further. So I'm excited for that, you know, but this is the thing. But when you're having someone else is saying, hey, I'm looking to court you because I'm ready to get married. And if that's not in your 5-year plan, then I might need to move on. Because I'm like, shoot, I like the thing of being married and having kids and stability and stuff, because marriage means different things to different people. So
I think that you make a point there. It's ready to love, not ready to marry. But I think that the sense that I get from everything is that the goal of this age group is not, I'm just looking for my next boo. I am looking for someone to build a life with, build a long-term relationship with. So interested with that. Now, the other thing, as far as most of the women on the show have been placed in the awkward position regarding taking the lead in courtship.
Yeah, I think that's been said a couple of times, you know, and I know Winter kind of puts that out there as well. It just turns out, I think this season, based off of who they pick, I think you mentioned about the, was that A-type? Or
Yeah, you have a lot of A-type women. Or personality A-type women, which
means
they are very, assertive. Not aggressive, but assertive. They are, they have their businesses. They know what they want. Not afraid to say what they want. Those type of things. But you have a lot of the guys, in my opinion, that are not as type A. You have a lot of the guys that are like letting the women take the lead. For example, Anthony. Anthony, in my opinion, is not a type A person. So for Winter, who is like, I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. And I want to be pursued, but I also want to, I'll make that person know that I'm interested. Anthony has taken more of the at least up till recent, has taken more of the standpoint of, we'll see what happens. I'll kind of dance around and see who's there for me. And I'm feeling both these women. Y'all got me confused. No, bruh, step up, say what you want. And be done with it.
And I think even in our current society, that's a big thing that's occurring now. Women are not just waiting for men to decide, hey, do you want me or not? With us in the age of dating apps, when you can decide that you're interested, hey, I'm interested. Are you interested? And so and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
You know, I think being very upfront, like, this is what I'm looking for, and I feel like you fit. Say what you want.
Right.
You know.
Here's the thing. Everybody wants to be pursued.
Right.
Right. You as a woman want to be pursued.
Right.
I as a man want to not necessarily be pursued, but at least know that you're feeling the same way, that your interest as well.
Right.
And so I think that when I look at this season versus previous seasons, I can see how this season, it seems as if the ladies are more taking the lead on establishing those relationships that they're looking for, at least defining that.
Right, because maybe the men don't want to get in trouble because they're in tight quarters. See, when they were doing it in Atlanta, they were still at their own home, so you didn't know who was talking to who.
That's true.
Now, men are trying to tip around on me, caught in somebody's room, and they be like, y'all ain't gonna catch me.
Yeah.
You know, and that could be
that could be part of the dynamics, too. You're right. You're right.
You're like, you gonna catch me slipping.
Yeah, right. So one last comment I want to go over, and this is, we had asked you all to comment in there because the trailer for the next episode, this looks like something takes a little different turn, right?
Yeah.
And so we had seen a couple of different comments that are kind of alluding to this, and so we'll see. But JNTB Transport wrote that maybe Joy had a death in her family, so she had to leave. So that's kind of something that we've been seeing in as far as in the comments, that there's speculation, I guess, that Joy's sister passed away is what we're hearing.
Is what we're hearing, which is sad, right? We don't want anyone to ever lose anyone.
Right.
And so I'm very curious, you know, how this plays out.
Right.
Because it's just like, who throws a trailer and, like, you know, you see everybody happy going on dates, and then all of a sudden you bring in all the contestants in.
And I mean, everybody looks
producer,
shook.
Right.
Like, Tommy's like, man, we don't normally do this.
Right.
So it'd be interesting. But then if that's the case, if this is true, then what does that do for Jay and Joy?
Yeah, I mean, to me, if Jay's saying he really feels Joy, then this is my personal opinion. I would bow out of the show saying, you know what? I'm really feeling her. Even if I could be there as a good friend, I want to be there by her side. I feel like Joy's feeling me to the point where it's almost like I'm expecting you to step out, but not continue to date someone else if you're really feeling me. It just be awkward.
It would be awkward. And to me, if this is true, I think that Jay and Joy have established enough of a connection that they would pursue it outside of the show. And so then, therefore, for Jay, there's nothing else for you to stick around for.
I don't
because
think so.
you pretty much
you pretty much
you cheat kiss Winter out of the picture. Right. There's no one else that you're having those type of conversations with. If that's the case, bow out.
Because even if I was in Winter and I'm like, why are you still here? That would have, again, that's just how I think.
Unless all of a sudden we see that he and Denise have been sneaking around on the backside of the resort.
Oh, God. In the world.
Just, I'm throwing that out there anyway. All right. I think that's all the comments we have right now that we're going to dig into. But we appreciate you guys subscribing, liking, watching. But let us know in the comments. We're ready for the next episode, and then the reunion special is probably going to be a little fire too. So let us know what you think. Hit us up in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Be blessed. Have a great one.